Morning, y'all. It's 2018 and Happy New Year to everybody. Let's hope this is a great year for you guys. I cannot wait for this year to get started. Got so many great things in the pipeline. So after an interesting festive period, we all had a lot of fun in Iceland.
Iceland! We love Iceland!
We love Iceland!
Like a dream!
Today, we're going to be talking about something that's got some pretty big messages. Lots of people not really seeing the bigger picture here. So we're going to be talking about an email I've got here from that company who are deciding, because of my deal with Titleist, which you might have seen on Christmas Day, that they're not going to send me product for testing, which is fine, and it's their choice obviously, but we're going to explain some of the reasons, the real reasons why this is, because I've got some interesting email threads and some kind of ideas to build around what I think is quite shocking in some of the communications we've had, and obviously how we've dealt with that company in the past and that kind of stuff. But look, let's be clear. This is not a video saying don't buy Taylormade stuff. Do. It's good. Their product performs. And this is not a video saying go and hate on Taylormade online, because don't. I mean, I hate their online. Their threads are so boring because the way they've got some big players, haven't they? But they're so stale in their advertising if you compare them to some of the other companies. I think Callaway being one of the kind of forefronts of how to use digital compared to Taylormade, who are just like, I find their advertising absolutely embarrassing. This is a video to explain to you a bit behind the curtain of what I have to put up with when I deal with certain companies and marketing, and also how wrong I think lots of people are getting the whole review thing, which I think holds them back. And I think there's content that holds people back, and I think there's ideas, and I think Taylormade are getting this wrong as well. Either that or they just hate me, which I kind of think they do, because I've got to remember they didn't send me the club last year. Didn't have any deal. Interesting. So today's question for you down there in the comments section is, I want you to tell me what's going to be the biggest thing you work on this year to try and get your golf better for 2018. Hit that thumbs up button. As always, come on, that should be a New Year's resolution. If you're watching, hit the thumbs up button. It helps me, YouTube likes it, hits that thumbs up button. Don't be afraid to subscribe as well. Should we start with this email? Let's just see if we've got a response yet. Email came in there. Nope. So it starts, Dear Mark, as you know, following your official equipment partnership announced on the 22nd, we sought to clarify a position with our colleagues in Carlsbad. So that's the UK office trying to talk to the American office to get their position. Here is our position. We are always welcome to value independent reviews of Taylormade golf equipment that help golfers increase their performance and enjoyment of their game. Sorry. Is this a sales pitch? And we'll aim to provide product samples and information to reviewers for that purpose, at best we can and in our discretion. Well, that's not true, because let's not forget here, last year, no contract, and Taylormade actively didn't send me their latest product. I had threads that proved that they knew I was doing reviews, as they sent me a putter in November and then didn't send me the product around the same time. Yet whenever we try to talk about that, they just want to say, should we just move on? Let's move on from here, they say. Let's build bridges, let's move on from here. Well, I didn't do anything. You tried to screw me. So that first paragraph, not only is it salesy, which is odd, I don't know why they're lying, because that wasn't true last year. I think that actually because the turnaround at this company and stuff is often quite quick, so I think there's some of the people maybe talking don't understand or remember that, because I know one of the persons wasn't at the company at that point. However, we've decided not to supply product samples and information to reviewers who have entered into an exclusive agreement with any one single equipment manufacturer. It goes on and then just say, hope you understand kind of stuff. Now, there's a few points here, and I've asked these questions and Taylormade won't respond to me, because in this back and forth I've got about 15 questions that they just will not answer because they're too tough for them. If you think about that message, it's not true for a start. So of course they supply exclusive Taylormade people with equipment and have done reviews, so that's not true. And obviously I understand why they do that, because they're paid up people, but that isn't true in itself. And then the next part, when you see my in the bag, there's a club that's not changed. There's a club that isn't Titleist in there. There's a club that's remained. It shows you how confident Titleist are with their product, doesn't it? And allow me to keep a club that I want to keep in my bag, which you'll see in bag. They didn't ask this question. I've asked them or tried to give them chances to ask this question, but they won't because they've made their minds up already. Also, Dan, who helps me do reviews now on some instances, he's got no deals. So, like, the channel isn't exclusively Titleist. Lockie isn't, who plays in all the course vlogs within reason. If he's not in front of camera, he's behind camera narrating if it's against a Tour Pro, and then still appears in some. Obviously, Rory plays in lots of them. He's Taylormade, plays Taylormade through his Your Golf Travel Taylormade connection. And then we've got Dan, obviously, who's not contracted, also includes us in the review. So if it's me personally, yes, I'm Titleist, minus one club. But the channel reviews, it's the channel, and the channel is me, but there are other people on that channel as well who are helping. So it's just so messy, and I've given them chances to respond to this, but they just won't respond because there seems to be this kind of agenda which started last year, which I think is interesting. Post comments down below, let me know what you think. I think it's crazy. I need to get Torquay Golf Club. Happy New Year, Dan!
Happy New Year, Mark!
Oh my god, what a treat! It's Coach Lockie.
Hello.
Happy New Year, Coach.
Happy New Year.
Awkward silence. Right, just about to go out and do some reviews from some other companies who seem to understand the whole message.
So, what I think is interesting by that statement, if you think about it clearly, if you think it through, what Taylormade are actually saying,
I should clean my shoes really, shouldn't I? They're not saying that.
is by definition of reading that statement, they're saying they won't send me product because I've got to deal with one company, so they're kind of saying they don't trust me, they don't think I can be independent. So then, we should never listen to Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, Justin Rose. When it comes to them talking about equipment, Taylormade are actually saying they shouldn't be listened to. They're saying it. They're saying those guys are just following the paid message, so you shouldn't listen to them because they are sponsored players using all their equipment.
Like, that surprises me that they're saying that. If you think it through, they're kind of aggressively saying our sponsorship purely makes those people toe the line. We're not interested in what they know or like or what is best for them. It's more that they're paid so they say what we want them to say. I mean, that I think that's crazy. That scares me personally. I think that's an amazing thing to say
About your own product. Because you can't have it both ways, can you? If you think about it, you can't have it both ways. It's fine if you don't trust me, and it's fine if you don't even give me the chance to show you and help you understand even what I'm reviewing, which we'll come on to in a second, which I think is, for me personally as a coach of over 20 years experience, is the biggest comedy here, which is always the problem with having to talk to marketing rather than R&D would get it, you would hope. It's just an amazing thing to say, isn't it? The fact that that one worries me, and it should worry you. It should worry you as well as a paying customer of how that kind of level of control that they're trying to keep over a product, like I said at the start, which is actually quite good. Not that I've seen the new stuff, obviously, but I'm sure it's quite good, like the old stuff has been. It's a little frightening, really.
Bit long. Someone's quiet. Oh, very quiet.
Well, that was fun, testing a bit in the wind and a little bit of rain with Dan, but it's always good fun. So my next point is, it saddens me that I have a deal which is unique in the industry, and that was the whole point when this first came up. I wanted to do something that was going to change the way these things are looked at, and hopefully through the year I can persuade any of the doubters that you can be sponsored by a manufacturer in the golf industry, in hardware for instance, but they're still happy for me to have opinions on other clubs. But Taylormade, by default of their statement, are saying that they're not happy with that. They obviously, I can only presume, they understand the sponsorship as just being a paid spokesman for that company, and it can't be anywhere else. And that just amazes me that they haven't got that vision. And it also makes me wonder, how does that work then with the magazines that get payments from all the manufacturers and have done for years? How is that different when they have not tried to keep their voice? They've been happy to exchange reviews for paid marketing
where you've got someone who's trying to create something where I can keep my voice, but I'm getting paid for my business, and Titleist will get exposure across my channel. It's product placement, because obviously I play courses for fun. I'm not trying to win tournaments. Yet they don't respect my professional voice, and that really saddens me to feel that Taylormade want to lock this opportunity of change down, which I think this change is good obviously for content creators like myself, but also for you, the audience, that you get better content because people might earn more money, which allows them to invest in better cameras and better trips, and gets you traveling the world with them to more interesting places, get to work with some interesting people and more interesting people, yet at the same time be allowed to earn a living. Taylormade obviously don't want to take part in that, and I think that's a real shame. And it does make me question my relationships with the magazines. I have questions for years because they've not pushed for this, which is hence why obviously Taylormade have made it so obvious that this is so confusing for them. Also, what's really scary is that Taylormade were involved in the talks. So I contacted Taylormade before the Open saying what my ideas were, and the person I spoke to had no problem, thought it was a good idea, and then said, can we be involved in the talks, which they then became involved in talks. But did they have the intention of, if they were to sign a deal, getting me to tell you the Taylormade message and nothing else? Do you see what I mean? That's frightening, isn't it? So I don't know what's changed, because it wasn't a problem and they wanted to be involved. They didn't get the deal and weren't very good at the talks, because obviously they were transitioning with companies as well, because they split up were sold, weren't they, from Adidas. Yet when the deal happens that they were involved in talking with at the start and through up until November, there was talks going on, was their intention to try and get me to tell only the Taylormade message? Like, who else is doing that? Like, what? Right, time to get home. Made it home. You wouldn't be able to script this. This sums up Taylormade. This is great. So at 2:01 I get 2 emails from Taylormade. Dear media partner, Taylormade. That's called a press release that they've sent to me at 2:01. I'm not sure I should be on that list anymore, guys. That kind of sums up the level of professionalism when it comes to talking and dealing with their media partners, which I am now no longer since the email that was before New Year. It's like computer says no stuff, isn't it? That's Christmas. Christmas has gone. It's in those boxes. What a day. So my last point, I say it's my last point, I'll probably make 4 others. This is the one that's the most funny, and when I talked to all the other manufacturers who are perfectly happy to work with me because they understand this point more than anything else, and this is the key. I test golf clubs. At no point do I say one is better than another. I even make, before Christmas, a 10 best video, a 10 best drivers video, taking the mick out of that whole genre of videos, because if a club is fitted for you, it will perform better than one that's not. Let me show you something. Let me explain what I test, okay? I test CG placement. So if it's back, if it's forward, if it's toe, if it's heel, if it's movable, and what that does and what it doesn't do for you as a golfer. Because strike will always win. It doesn't matter if it's that brand, if I'm allowed to show you that brand. Well, at the same time, it doesn't matter if it's that brand, or if it's that brand, or, and there's other brands, if it's that brand as well. Because they all move CGs, and that needs testing. You need to show, or be shown, how a low spin driver advertised as is or isn't low spin, and how a track can and cannot help you hit different shots. I also then test things like turbulators. Do I increase club head speed? No. Do I increase it on the step? No. This one hasn't got one, so I don't test for that. This one hasn't got one, so I don't test for that. This one has a channel, so does this one. And I test if I can tell any difference in strikes, feelings and performance, and if that actually is something that needs to be improved on a course and in live testing and in a range bay with dry testing. It doesn't matter what manufacturer's stamped on this club. I will then test or give you my opinions on the looks, on the sound, on how that feels interpreted as sound. These are all good clubs. There's no right and wrongs. This is the key, and being my 10-year message, get fit, get lessons, and use what you feel is best. And if you're using a low spin driver like I was, say Sub-Zero, and you get some shots that fall out of the air like I was, I get my longest hits, but also getting my shortest ones when I miss hit it, maybe go to not the Sub-Zero model. There was an email, let's see if that's Taylormade. Nope. Not responding. I then test, and this is the key one. This is the one where Taylormade get eggy and want to really try their hardest to kind of harm what I do, I think. I test the marketing claims. If it goes 10 or 20 yards further, well, I'll show you if it does or not for me. If it is the most revolutionary design that changes the world and everything has changed, well, I'll test that and see if there's any noticeable difference to if I make par or not. That's why I do it on the course. Such a fair way of testing all the clubs. With dry ball data to try and show you that the data actually doesn't really mean that much compared to what you see out on the golf course, but it still has some variations or some bearings in what you might want a club to do from low spin, high spin. Hashtag 262 is an ongoing joke, has been for years on my channel, because that one fitted for me goes 262, that one fitted for me goes a bit further than 262 but then drops back to less, so really on average is 262. This one was 262 and this one was 258 to 262. I mean 258 to 262. It's the day I tested it rather than it's the club, because that's going to be my human element of feeling tired or whatever, all those kind of things which people don't even want to talk about when it comes to testing. I try to. How can I be biased? I'm only biased if you don't understand the basic concepts that I'm testing under. And if you don't understand those basic concepts but you make clubs or you work in the marketing department for clubs, that's a frightening thought, isn't it? And that's why with this company I have constantly banged my head against the brick wall. This company, the one I've entered a partnership, their marketing stroke R&D are almost seamless in how they liaise information and understanding of their equipment. This company, I've always had a great access to their R&D, their marketing aren't as seamless, but they're very clever and make some very fun content, and they make great clubs, but I have access to their R&D. This company, R&D, amazing. Some of the 3 guys or 4 guys that I get access to and have done and had lunch with and filmed with and what have you are really clever, and I learn from them. Last time I spoke to this company's R&D, they tried to persuade me to use their golf ball, and I proved to them why it would be pointless for me to use their golf ball because it spins less, and why would I want a ball that spins less? I'm a low spin player, and I showed them if I want to hit a 7-iron 130 yards where spin's coming off, so a controlled 7-iron, I couldn't do it because it went too far because the spin just dropped off even further. And he walked away saying, yeah, maybe you'd be better off with one of our other balls in our brand. And I thought, why am I having to tell you this? Just like, wow. So that's the thing that really upsets me the most for 10 years of reviewing. And I don't care that I have to pay for this or not. And I will pay for this, the new version when it comes out. And I will review it and I'll be fair. And I will give you the same review that I give all the clubs. I'll test anything claims about it being off-centered hits and any claims about it going further and all that. And just show you the results. And that's what's so beautiful. You can't fix it. I mean, do they honestly believe I'm going to start gaming this and all of a sudden be hitting it 280 yards? It's comedy. There you go, thanks for watching. And like I said, don't think this is, you go and test the club. Tell me what you think of it. Go and test it. I will be testing it when it comes out as well. This is a video more just to show you the issues there is amongst testers, lack of knowledge in the industry that I'm really proud of to try and drive forward and put my head above the kind of parapet, if that's what it's called, and take all the shots that I take, because I believe we could all be getting a lot better and it could all be a lot fairer and you could be getting better information, which is all I've ever wanted to do and all I will ever do. I will do it with Titleist, helping me make my information even better, and I will do it without Taylormade, trying to at every point just ruin my business, which they won't, because at the end of the day, they are the ones who've decided to aggressively not allow someone who's going to keep an honest opinion about their equipment test their equipment. It just puts into bigger question about the people who are allowed to test it, in my mind, doesn't it? From the magazines to the testers to whoever. It's playing the game or not playing the game. Post comments down below. Let me know. Love to hear as always. See you tomorrow. Oh, that was a noise. That was well out.